We are talking to Zach Rosenfield and John Harrison from VegasKillers.com about Week 3 of college football here on the SBRtv Experts Roundtable. The last game I want to ask you guys about is a pretty controversial game, pretty interesting line. It's the Thursday night game, LSU -3 at Mississippi State. You know, LSU, of course, had their great win last week. Mississippi State coming off a short week. They're a little bit banged up. You know, you can make a case. There's a lot of people who are saying that LSU might be a great bet here because they're just sort of better all over the field than Mississippi State. People were expecting Mississippi State to do well against Auburn, and of course they lost. I bet Mississippi State a little bit when it opened at 3.5. Now it's 3, but I'm wondering where this line's going to go. Let's see if you guys have anything to say about it. Zach, what do you think about this line?
I think it's a fair line. AccuScore has it at a fair line at 3 points. The thing that concerns me about, if you start to take a look at what Mississippi State's doing, is you start to realize that they're a Dan Mullen's football team, but the Dan Mullen's brand that was so successful at Florida with Tim Tebow is a very different offense that they're running down there in Starkville with Chris Ralph. I think Mississippi State had gained a lot last year by having that competitive game with Arkansas. Anytime that you can play a Greg Robinson defense on New Year's Day in front of a national audience, it's going to really affect your publicity, as it did with Mississippi State when they blew out Michigan. And I'm concerned about a team like Auburn being able to score as many points as they did. If you take a look at what LSU confronted when they had to play Oregon, it was all about to beat Oregon. You have to beat Oregon at the point of attack, which is in the trenches. It's not much different than being able to be disciplined, being able to win the line of scrimmage, make sure your linebackers in the right position when you guard against the triple option. I just think that LSU's defensive front is way too strong here. You still have their primary players. LSU gets what they want. Mississippi State tries to get what they want. I think you have a big talent discrepancy, and I think Mississippi State's not as good as they think they were, even though they were very lucky, or probably very unfortunate not to score late in that game to tie it up. My personal lean is towards LSU. He scores is that the line is fair.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And you're hitting on the points that I've sort of been reading about all over the place, just talking about the talent discrepancy. John Harrison, what do you think of this line?
I don't like going against home underdogs on Thursday night, right, but LSU is going to flat out roll them. 3 is a gift. I'll tell you why. There's one stat. LSU gave up 95 yards to Oregon. That's Oregon. Mississippi State is nowhere near Oregon. Zach said it right. They think they're a lot better than they are. They didn't even beat Auburn, and Auburn is not good. That's not a good football team. They almost got beat week 1 at home by Utah State, and then they come back and they should have gotten beat again by Mississippi State. But LSU, every single position, they're better. Every single one. Jarrett Lee doesn't look too bad as a quarterback. He looks about as good as Auburn, so I'm expecting a beating. I'd say 20 points, seriously.
All right, now I'm sold. Note to myself, get out of position on Mississippi State. All right, thanks so much. Zach Rosenfield from AccuScore.com and John Harrison from VegasKillers.com. Thanks so much for all your great input.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks for having me.